out on the canal. And there he is.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Yes, this morning we're doing lots of things we've never done on this show before, like interviewing one of America's top
Sleepiest.
on a bed, floating in our canal. And here he is as the real genius behind Monty Python's Holy Grail, Brazil, and the new smash hit, 12 Monkeys. Terry Gilliam, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Breakfast.
I thought it was just going to be the two of us, not this crowd watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I was promised big things here.
He just said to me, this is the casting couch.
That's right.
Now, what do you think of it then? This is brilliant, isn't it?
This is excellent.
This is the first time they've ever done this on the show.
It's also the most placid moment in the show, too. I'm actually enjoying it. The rest is so frenzied.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Just you and me and 10 others.
Well, if it stinks, then you know you've done your big bit for Big Breakfast,
Exactly.
because this is the first time they've done. Now, don't worry about falling in, because we have got a frogman
right there.
somewhere around. Oh, he's there. There's the frogman.
Perfectly safe.
We're all right. We'll be all right then. Now,
He's the one that's in trouble.
Exactly, we fall on him. Now, 12 Monkeys. It took $60 million at the box office in just the first 3 months. Were you surprised about that?
Yeah, it's been kind of a surprise. I mean, admittedly, we've got Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt in it, but it had all the possibilities of failing because neither of those actors are doing what their fans expect them to do. And it's been amazing. In fact, what's extraordinary, it's been playing in Germany for 3 weeks. It opened the same day as Toy Story, and for 3 weeks we've been #1, beating Toy Story, which is basically impossible.
Yeah. Because that's really doing well over here,
Yeah, it seems to be working everywhere, and it's nice. Maybe the audience is as intelligent as I think they are,
exactly.
as opposed to what Hollywood thinks they are.
That's true. Oh, why the name 12 Monkeys? Where did that come from?
It was there. It's what it reminds me of is 39 Steps, the Hitchcock film.
Oh, I love that.
It may be a red herring, but we're not going to tell it on this to the public.
Then.
Yeah, it's
all right then.
But there's an army, a group called the Army of the 12 Monkeys that apparently released a virus that killed 5 billion people in 1996 and 1997, so we don't have much time.
Oh, right. We're all dying to find out here, because we're going to be talking to Mark a little bit later anyway about the film in general. But just tell us, the girls want to know, and I want to know, what's it like, Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis working together, and what were they like?
What were they like?
This shit, come on.
Firm buttocks, that sort of thing.
Yeah, those sort of things. Now, how did you get on with them, though? Because they're quite those powerful people.
No, but they're really great, because what was interesting in this one is they were both trying to prove something. They were trying to escape from the traps they both find themselves in. They're both big superstars, and they're being neatly categorized. Bruce does action, and Brad does blue-eyed bimbo stuff. Yeah. and they've done the opposite. Brad becomes this incredibly manic, funny, fast-talking character, and Bruce becomes very internalized and very vulnerable. It's kind of amazing. I think what was nice was the days they worked together. Because,
I was going to ask you, how did they get on?
Bruce was like the old gunfighter, and Brad was the new kid in town. So Bruce was very fatherly. Rather than becoming competitive, it was just the opposite. They really supported each other, and Bruce was always around, and he was trying to say, I've been through all this stuff before. Because it had reached the point when we started, Brad had just sort of exploded everywhere. He couldn't even walk out into his back garden because there was 600 mil lens on him. I kept trying to encourage him to do really awful things with animals. so he'd do something so appalling, they would never photograph him again.
That's a great idea. I might try that one, Now, the premiere is tomorrow night, and you're taking your children with you, aren't you?
Actually, tonight is the premiere.
Sorry, Thursday,
my daughters are coming, Amy and Holly, and I think Holly's going to make a film of the premiere and the party to be shown tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful. Are they going to show that here on the Big Breakfast tomorrow?
That's what they promised,
Oh, brilliant.
So
you're looking forward to it? I'm dying for it when it comes out here. I really am. On Friday.
I think what's nice, I was on a show the other day, and the people talking about it, they said when they left the cinema, they cried. For a very long time. I know, it's very...
Hello?
Hello. But it is a comedy, folks.
It is a comedy.
But it failed so badly as a comedy, they were crying.
Terry, thanks ever so much. See you later on the show. Coming up after the break, our competition. Oh dear, what can the chatter be?
And I'm here with Terry Gilliam on the Lilo of Love.
Thank you.
A couple of modern men out here.
Exactly. There's nothing to be ashamed of in this world here. Mark has revealed to me that, in fact, he is not a TV presenter, but an actor in disguise.
An actor.
And clearly this is the casting couch that he's dreamed of all his life.
So Terry, the next one, what's the next one coming up about? It's about some sort of private eye or something.
That's right. It's men being men together.
Men being men together. This is not a bad start, is it?
No. This is the beginning of a wonderful thing here.
You have worked with some of the big names in this business.
Yeah.
We're talking De Niro, Robbie Williams, Brady Pitt.
Yeah, Brady Pitt.
Brucey.
Actually, Brady Pitt, somebody said yesterday.
Brad
the non-stick
Pitt.
sticky stuff, as he's known in the trade.
Who was your favourite?
I don't know. I mean,
as a worker.
Robin is the most fun, because Robin is just great. In the middle of the night, we're doing a night shoot and something 3 in the morning when everybody's falling asleep, Robin will put on a show, and he'll include the entire crew in it. And that's a great thing.
That's really important.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very hard because most of the people I work with, because I'm careful about who I choose to work with, it's always been fun because I don't want to work with the nightmares. I don't want to work with those kind of people. And so people that get on board for my projects know it's going to be a rough go, and they got to be good because it's kind of like we're climbing a mountain, and it's like getting an expedition together, and you got to be with people that you're going to enjoy being with for months. So I mean, Brad and Bruce and Madeline on this one were great because you think big stars and all of that nonsense. It wasn't like that. I mean, they're just good workers.
And so how long between each project do you leave? I mean...
Well, I mean, after Fisher King with Robin and Jeff Bridges, it was 4.5 years until I did this one. But that was, in a sense, my own fault for being incredibly greedy because it was a successful film, and suddenly all these offers were there, and I kept running from one to another and never focusing properly. And finally, after 4 years, I thought it's time to get behind the camera, see if I know how to make movies anymore, and so I did.
And what was it about the 12 Monkeys?
No, it's just so intelligent and different. It was one of those scripts you read and say, wow, because it was complicated. It was full of ideas that I wish I had written. I mean, so it felt very comfortable. I knew the characters, I knew the ideas, but it was done by David and Jan Peebles. David wrote Blade Runner and Unforgiven, so good pedigree. And here was his project. It seemed very unlikely because it came through the studios. And I thought, this is not the kind of film that normally gets through Hollywood, so let's help it continue.
You do
on
that
its
well,
journey.
though, don't you? You tend to be able to sort of sneak under the wire somehow.
Yeah, I've got them very confused. They don't know exactly who I am or what I am. I seem to be this exotic troublemaker, but there always seems to be somebody out in Hollywood that wants to be the brave, bold producer that can tame the beast at last.
And Hollywood, how is that? What is that as a place to work
A
at?
hateful place.
It
really
is.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't work there. I mean, I live in London, and like this film we did in Philadelphia and Baltimore, but I basically go out there with a bag and tell them to fill it up with money, and then I run away as fast as possible. I think the problem is, it's like a little village out there, and everybody at any moment is thinking the same thought. They know what works, what doesn't work. It's a very, very limited view of what's possible, so I prefer to stay away from it.
Because like I feel like the play, it sort of comes across as a backbiting sort of a place.
Yeah, because I mean,
is it all of that?
Yeah, I think so, because it's a lot. There's a lot of money to be made, so there's a lot of desperate, nasty people out there. I mean, you meet somebody who's halfway normal, and you think he's a saint, but in the rest of the world, he'd just be a regular guy. But out there, he's like a saint. It's a strange place because everybody, they start wanting to make films. They all start with great ambitions and great ideals, and then little by little, they're dragged down.
And is it up to you as a director of an American movie to sort of keep them on board? Do you have to sort of chuck a strop every now and then to keep them?
Well, not really. I mean, in this instance, both Bruce and Brad were trying to escape from their success. So I had two guys who were really keen to prove something, and so they were very brave and bold.
In the acting stage.
Yeah, that's right. And it's because
were they your choice, or were they sort of?
Yeah, no. I mean, what happened was at one point early on, I didn't want to do a film with big stars because I'm fearful of all the nonsense that goes on with them.
Yep.
And the studio wanted a star, and I actually walked away from the project when they started mentioning people named Tom, and then they mentioned Bruce, and I'd met him on Fisher King, and I really liked him, so we went and had a long talk, and we both seemed to have the same idea of what we were trying to do, and bingo.
There you go. Because I know you as one of the Pythons as well.
A fool.
Well, that fool in the background, but also the animator in that as well.
Yeah.
Like working with those guys, was that hard work? Was that fun work? Was that both?
No, that was great. I mean, it's not very often you get to be in a position where 6 people get to do exactly what they want. I mean, there was no producer telling us what we could and couldn't do. There were no marketing executives, talking about the audience and audience figures. It was just the 6 of us making each other laugh, and it was really, I mean, it's hard work. You churn it out. I mean, like you do, you get to churn it out constantly.
Yeah. Do you still keep in touch with them?
Oh, yeah, we're all very close.
Anything you'd like to say to John or Michael or any of the lads?
John, good luck on the rewrites for Fish Called Wanda 2. It's called Death Fish, or it's called Fierce Creatures.
Fierce Creatures, that's out.
Death Fish is a better title, John. Stick with your first impulse.
Cool.
Cheers.
Wonderful to meet you. Good luck with the next one.
Good luck. And give us a
good
kiss.
luck with this one.
Oh, so it was oh, showbiz crept in there. You know how it is.
Excellent. Here we are on the Lilo of Love saying goodbye. We're now going to Pete Smith's Big Breakfast News on weather. Thanks, Terry.